Hi, I'm Rosalie Gillis-Madden. I'm the vegetable specialist at Perennia.
I'm Sonny Murray, also Perennia Field Crop Specialist. Today we're here at Elm Ridge Farms, Greg Garrett's, just outside Sheffield Mills, talking about cover crops and different cover crop species. So back in the middle of July 15th, we established these cover crops. Usually that's the date when early vegetables start coming out, which leaves your ground bare for the rest of the cropping season. So from that planting date, we usually have about 3 months until we get a frost in the valley here. That gives us ample time to get a good cover crop going, to get build some organic matter, sop up some nutrients that are left over from that early vegetable crop, prevent erosion, and then do some good things for soil health. When we're talking cover crops, we usually group our cover crops into different species. So we start out here with the brassicas. We move into warm season grasses, cool season grasses, and legumes. So that's how we have our crops grouped together here. We established these cover crop plots by broadcasting the seed on top of the soil surface. We were planning on rolling them in, but it started to rain before we got completed. That night we had about 20 mils of rain, so we had good moisture for crop establishment, and then we probably had about a month and a half with very little rain, dry conditions. So good moisture for crop establishment, but not for further growth. Usually when we're talking about a cover crop, we like to get that seed drilled in. We have much more even stands, much better establishment of those seeds because you're ensuring that seed-to-soil contact. What you'll see in the plots here today is when we're talking about small seeds, we had very good establishment because with those smaller seeds, they're able to take up that moisture and establish very quickly. When we get into our larger seeded crops, you'll see that because we've broadcasted them, left that larger seed on the soil surface, we had poorer establishment in those crops. So as we go through the plots, we'll be able to see that. So to give you the history of the field here, last year it was in vegetables. For a winter cover crop, they established winter rye last fall. That overwintered. It was terminated about July 10th with full tillage, and 2 metric tons per acre of chicken litter was applied and incorporated. We then came in and planted the cover crops. I think it's very important to have a little bit of nitrogen in the system to get the cover crops up and running, to get them established, and the cover crop, of course, is going to hold that over for us into the next crop. So from there, I think we'll talk about each individual species and talk about a little bit of how we'd mix those together into a mix. Usually in a mix, we want a brassica, we want a legume, something that's going to produce a little bit of nitrogen, and then maybe a grass that will produce good roots to give us some soil structure.